Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon to everyone in Switzerland. Welcome to
Hello.
Rainy Nights, the segment of my YouTube channel where I interview other motor vloggers and motorcycle personalities. If you haven't been here before or seen one of these episodes, I am Rainy Rider. I ride a 2019 BMW Grand America and a 2021 Harley Sportster. Feel free to give the channel a like and a subscribe. Tonight we have, or today actually, Nata on the road. How you doing?
Hello, I'm fine. A very sunny day, not a rainy one. I'm really happy.
Good.
Very happy to be here with you. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm happy to have you here. It's exciting. I've been trying to get you for I think it's like 4 or 5 months. I've been trying to get you, and you finally came back from. Well, we'll talk about where you came back from later. So so where are you from, and what do you ride?
So I'm from Switzerland. I grew up in a little town in the French part, and I'm actually here today. So that's a funny moment because I get to be here in my hometown for that interview. And I'm not sure I should tell you what I'm riding because I actually just sold my other bike and I have the new one just here behind, but nobody knows it yet. So
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
I guess people watching this deserve to get the news before everyone. I was planning to announce it on Instagram this week, but I'm a bit late with everything. So yes, it's a Royal Himalayan.
So my friend, he's on right now, Nothing at Random. He is up in Ohio, and a friend of ours owns a Royal Enfield dealer. And they have been trying to talk me into getting a Scram 411, which is the scrambler version of that Royal Himalayan. So I love those bikes, and they're gorgeous. So
I've seen it. It looks really nice.
Yeah. So how long have you been riding?
It has been an on-off story at the beginning. I started when I was maybe like 20, 22. But then I also started traveling around the world. So of course the bike couldn't fit in my backpack. So I had a small Honda Rebel here in Switzerland, 125. I bought it as a first bike, like my first love, and I still have it actually. So each time I was coming back to visit in the summer, I would ride that bike again, but then I would go back mainly to South America, and there I wouldn't have a bike. It's only later when I was like maybe 28 that I started to think I should get into it even more.
Okay, so your traveling actually started a little bit. The little story behind it. You met someone, thought you were in love because you were traveling around the world, and realized you were not in love with them. You were in love with traveling, and then moved on by yourself. So expand on that story.
I can tell you've seen all my reels.
I have.
Very carefully. That's nice.
So expand on that story. How'd you get there?
That's one of my best story when it comes to riding, because in South America I met a lot of guys traveling, mostly going from America to Ushuaia in Argentina or the other way around, and I was kind of envious and I really wanted to do the same, but I wanted kind of join them, so I never thought I could do it myself. I always thought that I should go with them. So that story that reel comes from this feeling, because we met, I think we met first on Tinder, but we never talked because both were traveling. So we just matched, and we both went to other countries and we never talked again. But he had his Instagram on Tinder. So I found him on Instagram and I texted him again and he never answered. So yeah, 6 months later, I receive a message on Tinder. Hey, I've never seen that message before. I was like, oh, that's that guy. And I was like, yeah, I even texted you on Instagram. So we started chatting on Instagram, and he was traveling. He is American, and he was traveling from north to south. So we decided to meet in Ecuador and ride all the way down to Peru. It was like a 20-day ride, so I was just the passenger. So for me, it was like the most exciting invitation ever, and that's where the images from the reel come from, because that's when I realized he was a photographer. And I realized I don't really wanted to travel with him. I actually really wanted to be him. I wanted to have a bike. I wanted to be a photographer, and I wanted to travel around. And that was like the big moment where I actually started thinking, hey, I need to not be scared anymore of big bikes. I can do it, and let's try. That's how everything started.
And you have been traveling around the world for how long now?
I left Switzerland when I was 18. I wanted to leave earlier, but I couldn't. I had to wait to get my passport. So I went first to Spain. I learned Spanish because I wanted to go to South America, and then I traveled a lot in India mainly, and then South America. I've been there 10 years, traveling, selling jewelries on the street. I would craft myself, and hitchhiking or taking public transport. And this is like the beginning of my nomadic life that I'm trying to now get back on a bike.
So you've been doing this now for 17 years. Not to give away your age, but you've been doing this for 17 years.
I didn't answer your question. Yeah, it has been like 17. I'm 35. So yes, 17 years.
What a world of fun, right? So originally, how did you get into motorcycles? I know your first was a 125, but how did you get on it? How did you decide, I'm going to get on motorcycles and start riding?
I think unconsciously I always kind of liked it, but I was always thinking about a van trip when I was maybe 14 or so. And my dad was a biker, but he somehow stopped when I was a kid. And when I grew up, he kind of came back to his passions. And when I came back from traveling, I think it was from India, there was like a surprise. Look what your dad bought. I was like, oh wow, a motorbike. And he took me for a ride, and I think that's where it started. I was like, oh, I also want to have that.
Cool.
So I think it was, a very early age, and probably my dad that motivated me. I was like, oh, you can teach me how to ride. So.
All right. If anyone has questions for me or Nata, put them in the comments in the chat, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. If we do skip your question, and if we go by it and in a few minutes we haven't answered, just throw it back up there, because we're just trying to get to everyone's questions as we can. Okay, so you've been on the road for 17 years. You've been on motorcycles for almost that long. Would you consider yourself a fair weather rider or a rough rider?
Definitely a rough rider, because when you travel for days or weeks or months, it's just like whatever the weather is, so you just keep going. It's not like, I cannot even conceive the life where you just take your bike to go around a few hours and then go back home. It's like you have to go there.
Yeah.
It's raining, well, you go there.
Yeah, one of your videos, it's my favorite one lately. It's the one where you're laying the bike down a few times and you're in the mud, you're covered in mud, and you're like, I want a bath, I want a beer, and I want a bed. And it's but yeah, that's, you feel
all the bad parts of riding. Or maybe of being a bad rider because I'm falling. Oh
no, everyone falls eventually, and we all know that. So most of the people in my crowd here, we've dropped bikes, we've dropped it in the rain, we've dropped it in the mud. The important thing is you get back up and you keep going, right?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
At the time, yeah, it feels like that. It feels like you're covered in mud. You want a bath. You'd rather be anywhere but there right then. But when it's over, all you have is good memories.
And when it's over, you want to go again.
Yeah, and pictures. We have lots of pictures. You can talk about your pictures here in a minute, just whenever you want to. So
yeah, I must say it's hard to take pictures when you're riding, because you have the gloves on, then you have the helmet. Most of the time you're tired already, and when you're falling, it's really not the moment you feel like, oh, I'm gonna do a video about it or something.
Yep.
But I regret, because I would like to show all the times I fall and where I was and everything, and I didn't. So yeah, I really regret, but I learned the lesson. Next time I'm I'm gonna take videos, like forcing myself to take videos in those moments, even if it's hard and you don't feel inspired.
Yeah, it is hard. I find myself doing that. I'm like, I need to stop and I want to take a picture, but I'm going and it's late. I don't want to stop. I'll just pass. But you got to make yourself stop. I mean, if that's...
Yeah, because then you regret. You're like, oh, that place was so nice, or that place was so hard, and you don't have a single video or picture to show everyone or just your friends how it was.
Yep. Okay, so every day when you get up, who inspires you to get out and ride?
That's actually a tough question, because I think maybe it's not someone, it's more something. I don't have like someone telling me to go ride or something. It's just like the how you call that, the almost the need to travel, like the eager of discovering the world that just makes you keep going. And I don't even think about, actually I don't need someone to motivate me to
not
ride.
anymore.
It's just like yeah,
you don't need anybody
that was
anymore.
Fear. It was not motivation. But yeah, it's just like you want to go see that place, so you just go. But I think it comes more from to be willing to discover the world and new places. That's what makes me sit on the bike and ride, even if it's raining.
It's probably not hard to get on a motorcycle and ride when you're in a beautiful place like where you just came from, somewhere in Africa, South America, and there's so many things to see. You want to get up. You really don't want to sleep. You just want to keep driving. You just want to keep riding. So
yeah. And anyways, I'm not the type of person that want to keep sleeping. So even if it's not riding, I would wake up and go walk somewhere or visit something or go camping or whatever. But I'm really not a couch type of person.
So we were just talking about the things you did for money while you were traveling. You have done everything from make jewelry to take care of old people to be a photographer to be an editor. What else have you done to just keep this dream that you have going?
What else? You said the main things.
Sorry.
I've been a waiter also. I helped building, like redecorating or building like houses, not like the full house, but like put a new floor or paint walls and things like that. I've been selling a lot of things. Like people know I do it, so when people think about throwing something away, they actually text me or call me and ask me if I wanted to sell it. So I receive a lot of things that I put online and then I sell them. So that's a fun thing I do to get money. It's not a lot of money, but it's it's fun. I mean, sometimes they give me phones. They're like, oh, I don't want that phone anymore, and I can sell it like $100 or $200, so that's fine.
Gas money.
I can buy new gear with that.
So would you rather...
Yeah, the main things that I still keep doing is helping a handicapped person, a friend, and that's the main thing, and then everything around photography.
Okay. And you were just telling me a story about something that you do in exchange for photography, and it was kind of cool. You got to stay in some hotels and resorts.
Yes. That's something I wish that would have existed 10 years ago. I think I would have loved to share all my photography and everything on Instagram when I was like 20 or 25, because I actually stopped taking photos because at that time there was no place where to share them. The only option I could see if I would do travel photography would be to sell them to a magazine or something like that, and they would just print them and publish. But that's absolutely not the same than since internet started existing, and then Facebook and now Instagram, you can share all your stuff directly with your audience. And that's something young people probably don't realize how amazing this is. Because when I started traveling, there was no cell phone, there was no Wi-Fi, so there was no option to share your stuff. You had to sit down on a computer, then you had your picture on the computer, and then what do you do with that? So one thing that is amazing with Instagram is everything around influencing, doing what is called collabs. That is basically receive hotel nights for free in exchange of photography. So you work for free and they give you a service for free. So it's kind of a win-win situation.
So speaking of magazines, you were just in a magazine. How did that happen?
Yes, this was I actually have been in 2 magazines, but the first one was just a very little thing. But that's what gave me the idea, because that person contacted me just like you did on Instagram, and she was like, oh, I'm writing this article about the first woman that went around the world with a bike, and I want to do just a little review of other people doing this, other women doing this now. So I was like, it was like literally just 3 sentences, but it gave me the idea that, oh, there are motorbike magazines, I should contact them and see what happens. And then I saw that magazine from France called Road Trip, and it's only about motorbike road trips, so it's just like the perfect magazine for me. So I contacted them, and they were actually interested in my profile and decided to write a few pages about me.
Very cool.
I really, really love the way it was an interview, like an hour online, just like now. And then he wrote about me, and I really loved the way he wrote it. It's like I would rediscover myself or read about someone else. I was like, oh, what's happening next? I was like, that's my life. I know what's happening next. But the way he wrote it was just amazing.
Very cool.
I'm going to share more about that later, because first I had to wait for the magazine to not be printed and not be sold anymore before I can actually share it online.
Oh, excellent. Let's see who we have in our chat tonight. We have Nothing at Random, AA Ron. I have Mike Pillion, Loose Juice. Dave Howard came in. Sky's Limit 73. What's funny, a lot of these guys are in here. We just took a road trip and went to a national park and went camping for the weekend. So we were actually all together last weekend camping. So very cool. Buck Brown, my other Navy buddy, and Goon, I'm my Army buddy. And my RE650 is my friend from childhood who we grew up together. So we've been friends for, has it been 45 years? It has. Wow. Diana says she loves a video where it says you want an ice cream sandwich. That's the same one where you want a beer, a bed, a hot bath, and
that one.
Very cool. And Billy.
I actually couldn't have a sandwich ice cream because I'm gluten-free, so I would have to find a gluten-free of those.
Come to America. They have gluten-free
someone
everything.
asking if I spend time in USA. You told me they're gonna ask that.
They're gonna ask.
I did not yet ever step American ground. Oh yeah, one time just for a layover. That doesn't count. But I really want to. I really want to. No, I didn't left the airport, so it doesn't count.
So, would you rather go out on a solo ride or a group ride?
I think my perfect riding thing would be a duo, just one person and me, because it's just enough company to be nice and to not be lonely or boring, but it's also not too overwhelming. I'm really not a group person. So yeah, not only riding, everything, actually traveling or whatever, I really enjoy to be just with one person.
That's fair. Very acceptable. So we talked about this yesterday. What has been your favorite moto meetup? Something that happens. I'm sure the travelers. I can't remember what Kinga and Itchy Boots say. I can't remember what this meetup is called, but a bunch of travelers and overlanders meet up together. Have you ever been to a meetup like that? Is that something you enjoy?
Never. And actually, I think I wouldn't enjoy it that much.
Because you're a loner.
As I said, I'm more like more like a solo person. I love to travel far away from the crowd. I'm not very much into social things like that. I never go to concerts. I never go to any place with a lot of people. I don't like I don't know, bar when they're crowded or things like that. It's really not what I would enjoy. But one place I've been related to motorbike is a place nearby. It's maybe at 1 or 2 hours from here, where my dad took me first time. They do that all summer, every Wednesday. They just ride there from all over Switzerland, and they just go have a drink and eat sausage. So there's
cool.
one guy there in the truck selling sausage, and it became kind of a thing since years already. The bikers just meet there. So when you arrive there are a bunch of bikes of all sorts. It's really fun. It's not really a meetup. It's more like a good reason just to go out and ride and then just stop there for a drink and go back home. So that would be the biggest meetup I actually did, but I never ever did any other meetup. I'm going to one in UK next month. I've been invited by Moscow Moto brand to be on their stand. So I'm going to the ABR festival in UK next month. So because it's camping and motorbike, I think I'm gonna like it, even if there's people around.
So 3 years ago, I had never heard of Moscow Moto. And now everybody from Germany and Poland and Britain and Norway and the Netherlands, everyone's using the Moscow Moto bags. So they must be really cool. Is that something you use?
I was about to say, they must be doing something right.
Yeah, everybody's got them now. Even a lot of people in the States now are using the Moscow Moto bags. So
it's actually a US-based brand. So it started in America, and then they came to Europe. So it has been longer in US, but of course it's way bigger. So the information takes more time to get to everyone. But yeah, I really love those bags. They're super practical. They're super light, so it's very easy for me to take them out and go to the tent or to the hotel with them.
Very cool. Yeah, I did see that. So I used to have a BMW, and it had hard bags you could actually take off and bring inside. But those Moscow Moto bags, they just slide right out of the keeper, and you bring them right in just like regular soft bags. Very cool bags.
Yes.
So
yeah, on my previous bike, I couldn't carry both bags at the same time. It was like such a big thing, super uncomfortable.
So Bleak Rides is asking about the Himalayan. He says it's a single thumper, right? Just a big single engine, which
yeah.
The cool thing about single engines, they're slow, but they're also pretty powerful for their size. So they're really good for things like this, just like the KLR. Singles are very good in the mud. They're very good at low speed. So what draw you to the Himalayan?
I think one defect that bike actually has is that it doesn't have much power. But it's, for me, because I'm not very tall, I'm only 165 centimeters, whatever this is in America, because I just can't remember. And I'm 50 kilos, so I'm really tiny, not the tiniest, but yeah, it's not ideal for bikes. And this one somehow makes me feel comfortable. I can move it around. I can park and go out of the parking alone. The BMW I had before was the same weight, the same height, or even a little bit slower with the lower seat, but it was so uncomfortable when it was parked. Like here behind, it looks like, oh yeah, it's nicely parked. For me, it's like a struggle just to push it back and turn and everything. So that's one of the main reasons the Himalayan was my first choice after trying it in Africa. Because I've been traveling through Africa for 40 days recently in April. So I could really try it out and figure out that I really like it. And yeah, there are not many bikes that are light and easy to handle, because the problem is not when you're on the road riding, that's easy. The problem is when you stop, when you want to park, when you want to move it around, and of course when you fall. But when you fall, this one is so heavy I cannot lift it, so I still have that issue.
Okay, 165 centimeters is 64 inches, which is a 5 foot. It's like 5'5". So you're not that short. Maybe
No.
for Switzerland you're short.
No,
But-
I'm kind of maybe average, kind of. But for bikes, usually when I see girls on bigger bikes, I ask them, how tall are you? And they're all 10 centimeters taller than me. And it makes a huge difference.
So you said you're 50 kilograms,
Yes.
110 pounds. So you're not that small.
send me the link of any other girl riding a bike that is tinier or lower than me.
Fair noise.
Not many, probably some, but not many. Yeah, it's just not easy. It's just not comfortable. And if I'm riding alone, then I always have that kind of stress in the back of my head that if I fall, I'm screwed because I cannot lift it.
So, can you get the bags off and lift it then, or do you have to?
I could take the bags off, but I think even just like that, even if the empty tank, I wouldn't. It's like 180 kilos or 190 kilos.
I guess that's motivation to not drop it.
Exactly. Or to find someone to travel with.
Yes, there you go. Even better. Back to our duo riding.
Exactly. So many good reasons of traveling with someone.
So what is your favorite motorcycle meetup you ever, single one, something that you decided to do and rode to it and it was great?
Maybe you can call me again in a month and I can tell you that it's the ABR in UK.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, yes, we'll do this again. No problem. Okay, so this goes as far back as you can remember. What is the stupidest thing you've ever done on a motorcycle? Something you did, and when you were done, you're like, I shouldn't have done that.
Oh, there are many. One of the worst one was to drive back home drunk. I took the roundabout the wrong side. Maybe I was feeling like I'm in UK already. I don't know. But yeah, when I arrived home, I was like, okay, I'm safe home. I'm not doing this ever again. But there was no other choice because there was no buses, no public transport, anything. But yeah, very bad idea. And traveling around the world many times, I also have been riding scooters without a helmet. That's also another thing that's like, yeah, was not very smart.
My favorite picture of you is you with the big scooter helmet on. I think that's the coolest picture. I wanted to use that one for the thumbnail.
Yes.
But that's a very cool picture.
I like that picture, but it doesn't make me feel like I'm really a biker if I am on a scooter, you know?
If you're on two wheels, you're a biker. It's, yeah, no judgment.
Don't tell that to people on scooter in the city center. They're not bikers.
All right. True story. Where were we? So how about your scariest moment on a bike?
I never had an accident or a really, really scary moment. Maybe just a bit scared in Africa once when I was riding first downhill, and then a truck wanted to pass another truck, so he just came in front of me. But that was kind of normal in Africa, so you just ride more left and the truck just kind of pass in between and it's fine. But then behind the truck that was trying to go faster than the first one, another one came behind wanting to go faster than both of them, and that one came just straight in front of me, and I don't know what happened. It was like a few seconds. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm still alive.
Well, good. Glad to still have you here.
But I'm not sure if it was scary. I think it happened so fast that I just reacted, and then I was like, oh shit. And I also think I have that on video. I need to find it.
Now, you've also rode with a bunch of animals on the side of the road. What's that like? What's it like to ride by, like, okay, I have seen videos of zebras that attack people when they go by. And one of
really?
Yes, one of your latest videos, zebras like to kick. And
Zebra attacking bikers?
Zebras attack. Zebras are a little bit psychotic. They say zebras are horses on cocaine. And I have heard of a zebra kicking through a truck door.
Wow.
Yeah. So that video of yours when you're driving by the zebra and you're like, oh wow, that's so beautiful, and I'm like, don't slow down, keep going.
Yeah. Okay, I will look at them in a different perspective now that you told me that story.
Yeah, zebras are a little crazy.
Definitely a bit impressed about elephants. the rest is kind of okay. Monkeys, I really don't like monkeys, but I
Nobody
think
likes
they're
monkeys.
scared of bikes. But yeah, monkeys are, they could kind of jump on you and be on the bike with you. I don't know. Nope.
I just saw a video. Monkeys try to steal mirrors off of motorcycles because they like to look at themselves. It was on. I don't know if you follow Itchy Boots, but she had left the cover off her motorcycle, and the monkey was trying to rip the mirror off her bike.
Stop telling me those stories, please.
Okay. Next, in America we don't have monkeys. If we do, they're locked up. So come visit. It's fine.
You have some crocodiles.
We have alligators, and yeah, only Florida has. They do. Where I grew up in Texas, Louisiana. They'll actually crawl up on the road to sun when it's like this time of year when it's spring. They get up on the highways to warm up. So the water's still cold, and the asphalt is hot. So, but anyway, come visit. I'm not doing a good job of convincing you to visit. Okay, what is your favorite part of riding motorcycles?
Feel free and just explore the world. Just be able to go anywhere I want, whenever I want. Even places where you cannot go with a car. It's just this, yeah, it's just a bit more than a bicycle. But it's not as big as a car, because when I travel in a car, I always feel like it's like holding you back from exploring places. You have to find like a place where to park it properly and everything. With the bike, I just feel free. Like I just can go anywhere, and I can just put my tent next to the bike, and that's it.
Aaron just shared your link to your YouTube. People are asking how to get to your YouTube channel, so we're sharing it in the links. So hey, we're getting you getting you some subscriptions. Yay! Everybody, if you have not, go ahead and subscribe to her, because yes, her channel is freaking awesome. It makes you what do you call it? FOMO. It gives you a fear of missing out. You like I should be doing that with my life.
That's nice. If I can give that feeling to people, then I did a good job, because it's exactly the feeling I have when I look at other travelers, and that's what makes me want to do it. So if I can give that feeling to other people, and other people just go out there and explore, then yeah, I've done my job. Yep. The YouTube is not yet very interesting, I must say, because I just don't have time to edit long form videos, and I have so many ready to be shared that I just have to edit. But I try to at least share the shorts, and on Instagram also. It's mostly the same videos on Instagram and YouTube, but long form will come soon.
I can't wait. Yeah, your stuff is,
I promise.
You take beautiful pictures. So even if you did like slideshows and put your pictures up, I got a chance to see some of your pictures yesterday that you took from your last trip, and it was gorgeous. I mean, you take some awesome high quality. Obviously, you're a photographer, but yeah, they were gorgeous. So I cannot wait for you to share those.
That's nice. It's good you say that, because I was thinking I should probably share some slides, like while I'm explaining where I go and where I travel to, show a few photographies. It's a nice way to share photography nowadays.
Yeah.
When people actually only want to see video and things that move faster. So photos are not very interesting anymore for people, usually, if you just post a picture with nothing. But I think integrating them to a video could be very interesting.
Oh yeah, put them into a video, or put them just put some music behind them, or talk through them and explain things as they go. I think it would be great. I'd watch.
You have to.
I will. So what has been the most frustrating part of riding for you?
I think you can guess that one.
Dropping the bike?
Yes. Actually, not dropping the bike. That's fine. Not being able to pick it up. That's the most frustrating thing ever, because you feel useless, no freedom anymore, because you have to go ask for help, or someone has to do it for you. It's super frustrating, and you can say everything you want to say about technique when you're in the middle of the slippery mud, downhill,
you're tired,
with rain and tired. You just can't pick up a 200 kilo bike with 50 kilo little arms. I mean,
fair enough.
I've been in those situations with friends, and they looked at me and they were like, "Yeah, okay, I help you."
Well, good you could get some help.
But I heard recently about kind of tool that helps you
The lever,
pick it
yes.
up. Yeah,
Yep,
that's
those actually mount on the
life
bike.
changer information.
I have
I
seen
looked at it and
those.
it's really expensive, but I think that could be like a very good thing to have.
If you had a friend who was a machinist, you could probably have them make one, because literally all it's got to do is mount on the bike. It folds up, it turns into a big handle, and you just push the bike up. And then once you get it up, you fold it back down. You know what? I think I'm gonna try to make one. This could be my thing. This could, and you could get the first one.
Nice. I'm gonna try it out for you.
So, are you ready to talk about what you're gonna do this year?
Oh wow, that's yeah. Are you ready to stay here one more hour?
Yes. Let's do it.
Okay. So as I mentioned, I'm going to UK to the AVR festival, and then maybe I'm going to Iceland. And then I really, really want to drive all the way to Sweden and Norway. And depending on the timing, maybe I go all the way to Finland and then down. It depends. So that would be the European road trip for this summer. And in October or November, I'm going back to Africa. So that's not too much bike related this time. I'm going more for safari photography and this kind of things, which I also like a lot. And I think I've chosen a good handle because it's on the road, but it's not specifically motorbike. So that's good. Because for me, the most important thing of being on a bike is actually being on the road or off-road, but just this feeling of moving and traveling and going there somewhere to explore something new. So I could be on the road in a van, I could be on the road walking. It's the same feeling of exploring. I like bike more than anything else, but I think I've chosen this handle without realizing how perfectly adapted it was. So yeah, sometimes on my channel you will see things about safari that are absolutely not bike related, but for me it keeps being like the same passion, the same reason of doing things, that is just exploring.
Yeah. I like to say on my channel, sometimes there might be riding, sometimes there might be wrenching, I might be changing my oil, but it's my life. This. If you want into my life, this is it. It won't always all be motorcycles, but it's all me.
That's nice. Yeah, and usually it's what makes people follow you along, is because they're kind of getting into your world, and that's nice. That's really nice. And for end of the year, I'm not quite sure yet if I stay in Africa or if I go to Asia, but definitely I'm not going to be in Europe for the rainy and cold season. And for next year, I would love to go to Canada and United States to ride, but also New Zealand. So let's see how I'm doing it. There's just too much to see.
There is some good adventure riding in America. I remember when, so Itchy Boots said she was really cautious. She's like, yeah, America, I'll probably just drive right through it because it's all cities and highways. And then when she got into California and Montana and Arizona and New Mexico, it's deserts and mountains and back roads and woodland roads and valleys and there's no elephants, but I mean
the landscapes I've seen there are amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous riding here, and I even forget sometimes what's here. I'll get it in my head that I'm in this part of the country. Here's what's here. Next thing I know, I'm riding through a forest, or I'm riding through on the side of a mountain, or I'm riding through a valley, and it's like, oh my God, this is great. It's great.
I would love to explore in end of summer and beginning of fall to see I'm not sure in which region it is. It's at the Canadian border, I think. But I'm not very good with American geography yet. To see all the mountains when they become orange, when all the trees turn into orange.
There's actually, so if you go up the East Coast, you've got the Adirondacks, and if you go through the West Coast, it's the Rockies. So you have really actually have three mountain ranges to pick from. So come on down. people say the Pacific Northwest. The Pacific Northwest is usually more green year round because it's wet. The East is where you get a lot of color change. So Virginia, West Virginia, Vermont, Massachusetts, New York. So yeah, come on down. I'll take some time off. We'll go somewhere.
Yes, that would be amazing.
You can come down for the next.
Staying a long time.
You can come down for the next weirdo camp out. We'll go to a campground somewhere and have a great time. I'm sure the guys wouldn't mind.
I always forget I have to read the questions.
Yeah, I tried to. So we were actually had to go through the questions yesterday and translate some of them because I told my friends that I was using American biker English instead of road traveler English. So we had to translate some things over to where you could like see them from travelers. Things like moto meetups, things like toxic trait, and there what was a couple of other ones that we had to like get straight. But yeah, so yeah, we've worked hard on this. I hope you guys out there appreciate this because we worked hard on this interview, trying to get all the questions right.
We did.
Yes.
I love the comment from Josh. Dropping the bike only hurts the first time. Picking it up hurts each time.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Aaron says we need to go through Ohio too. Absolutely. We will go through Ohio. So what bike do you think is the most reliable? If you had a friend that said, I want to start adventure traveling, I already know how to ride a motorcycle, what motorcycle should I get?
I have no idea.
Okay, honest answer.
Bikes are like humans. They all have defects. I don't know. I just bought this one. It's too heavy for me. I don't know. They all. I think there's no 100% perfect bike.
Oh, absolutely not.
I would love to build a bike myself, exactly like I wanted.
So how would you make it? If you had to build a bike for yourself, what would you make it?
I would take all the lightest material possible to really make it light. Not add anything useless, because a lot of those bikes just have stuff to make them look good or to have the brand here and there. I would make it a little bit lower for sure, but still a bigger engine, which is kind of impossible, but yeah. Probably something very similar to this one, but lighter. Just changing the materials to probably something more expensive to be lighter.
Okay.
What would be your?
Mine, if I told someone, well, for adventure bike or for a road bike?
I don't know. Your perfect bike.
My perfect bike, I love BMWs because they are, now you're talking adventure bikes, they are heavy up top but they're meant to be that way. But I like the BMWs because the weight usually is very low, and then once you get them moving, you don't feel that weight. Once you get a bike that's low slung moving, you can't feel the weight of it. I know people like to say once you get a motorcycle moving, they all weigh the same. They don't. There's bikes that are heavier standing, and there's bikes that don't lose a lot of that weight when you actually start driving them. So right now I'm looking at the BMW R18 because I had a bike like that. It was a 77. I had a R100, and it was just like that bike, except it was 1,000 cc's, where the R18 is 1,800 cc's. So that would be my next bike I would say I want.
But that's not your design. That's already made.
Oh, okay. So the design I would take R18 frame, and I'd put an R18 engine in it with R18 components. Okay, you get it. So, no, I would make a bike low slung, probably anywhere from 1,100 to 1,500 cc's is probably good. Put a low slung shaft drive with a low seat, with a 7-gallon gas tank, because that's my biggest peeve about any motorcycle, is you've got to stop every 100 to 150 miles to put gas in them. So the BMW I have now, I can get 300 miles on the tank. So I love it. It's fantastic.
That's true. That's a good point. The tank has to be big.
I like big tanks. and I cannot lie. So, if you could go, this isn't a weird question for you, but if you could go anywhere on a motorcycle today, start anywhere, and from there go anywhere, where would you go?
I would probably go to Canadian mountains right now.
Okay.
New Zealand is also on my list, and maybe I should pick that one because it's way more far away and harder to reach. But yeah, definitely mountains.
Okay. If you ever do decide to go to Canada, I've got lots of friends in Canada and the Pacific Northwest. I think you saw the video with Red Ryder. She is up in Western
Yes,
Canada, and she lives in the mountains and around lakes. So if you ever do decide
that's
to come
nice.
here, make sure you get some connections. That's one other
That's
person you
nice.
can ride. It would be perfect. So do you wrench on your own bikes? Do you change your own oil and do your own maintenance?
The basics, yes.
Okay. Have you inspired anyone to ride or wrench on their own bikes?
I actually did. Um, it was very surprising because somehow it also made me feel very old. Because I was like, okay, if I got to this point where younger people get inspired by me, that's not a good sign.
No, it's a good thing.
It was a comment of a French guy on Instagram that discovered me through the magazine we told about before. He just left a comment on one of my reels saying, "My daughter is your biggest fan. She's waiting to get 16 to get her first motorbike license." I was like, "Oh, so cool. How old is she?" Something. I thought she would be like, I don't know, 5 years old and just, I don't know, just fascinated with bikes. But no, she's 14 or maybe 15. I don't remember now. So she actually also have an Instagram account and then started texting me. And yeah, it was really nice feeling, but it was strange. I was like, oh yeah, I'm 35 already.
No, that's
People that are
cool.
15 start getting inspired by me, you know?
Well,
But
I
yeah, that was a really nice feeling also.
in my group they call me the group dad. So I've got people, Aaron's age, guys in their late 20s, early 30s that are looking up to me. I think they're looking up. Maybe they're just laughing at me. I don't know, but they're there. It's a cool thing when people start following you and telling you that that you're doing cool things for them.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But it's different when people just like you and follow you, and when they tell you, I want to be like you, when they're younger and they tell you, I'm going to do the same than you, it's not the same feeling. It's one is more like friendship, and the other one is really more like a mentor thing. So it's a different feeling.
yeah, I agree, totally agree. If you now on that base, same thing. If you could tell a new rider one thing that you had to learn the hard way, what would it be?
Oh, I remember you gonna ask that question. I had to write it down because there were so many things. But yeah, I could resume it to three. I think the first one I really learned the hard way was get a good raincoat. I got soaked so
Yes.
many times. My shoes got wet. Then you have to camp. They never dry. You have to wear them the next day again wet. And not having a proper raincoat is a nightmare because usually it also goes with cold weather. It's so uncomfortable to be wet. But yeah,
Yep.
the worst part of it is not getting wet, is reaching some place where it will never dry and then you have to wear it again wet. That's just like awful. Second thing would be, don't trust your phone holder. I had many accidents with that. So now I always do a double security, a double protection thing. And actually, I broke my phone like that the first time I went on a solo trip with my new big bike. So I had no more phone to take pictures, no more phone to contact people, no more phone to find a GPS. I didn't even know where I can find a gas station. So yeah, the phone is really important. We rely too much on it. So yeah, don't trust your phone holder. And the third one is that you should be sure something is going to break, and you should have all the tools with you. It happened so many times that I had the entire toolbox and there's just one thing missing, and that's the one you need.
Because you left it on the side of the road somewhere else.
Yes. In Africa, we had a flat tire and we had new tubes, but we didn't have the tool to actually change the tube ourselves, and we didn't have a pump. So we had to ride on the flat tire for 6 hours till we found the next town.
I have started carrying the CO2 cartridges with me, the carbon dioxide cartridges, because they don't take up any space hardly at all, and they have been a lifesaver.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yep.
I agree with all those points.
Dave is saying I'm not tall. I'm 5'13.5. I have no idea how much this is.
That is so it's at 6 foot. That's 6 foot 1.5. We
no,
like
5.
to
5 foot, no?
Yeah, 5'13". We like to say in America, if you're close to 6 foot, you just say you're 5 foot. Like there's 12 inches in a foot, so he's 5 foot 13 inches. It's kind of a joke that we tell inside. It's like an inside joke, I guess. Yeah, we're not very funny, but come to America anyway.
Do that job with centimeters.
So he is. I can do this. Nope, that can't be right. He's 186 centimeters.
That's super tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody I hang out with is either taller than me or shorter than me, and by a lot. So, like right in the middle.
185 is a lot. It's almost too tall to be my boyfriend.
Almost. See that, Dave? No, Dave's taken. Sorry.
You're too tall anyways.
Aaron's not. Aaron's what? Aaron, what? You're 5'10", 5'9". Yeah, Aaron's our area brother. He's our little brother. So he's the one we take with us. He's a fully grown adult, I'm sure. But we compared to the rest of us, we just treat him like our little brother.
That's nice.
So and he lives in Ohio. He's got a good job, has motorcycles.
If he has a good job, he doesn't travel.
He does travel. Oh, he travels. We literally, anytime I've traveled this year, he's been there. So except for the Jack Daniels trip. So, but yeah, he loves to travel. Not as much as you, I guess, because he's got a job. But oh well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't really understand what it actually means to be nomadic. And a lot of people say, oh yeah, I love traveling, and it means they travel maybe 3 times a year or 5 times a year, but it's absolutely not the same mindset. Even if you go out camping every weekend, it's not the same than being fully nomadic.
Yeah.
It's just the life goals and the mindset and how you project yourself in the future is so different. It's like there's not a coming back somewhere, there's not a paying bills, or there's not this idea of settling down, and there's no problem of going anywhere. You can go whatever time of the year, wherever you want. It's raining, just take a plane, go somewhere else, change your plans. You get a random invitation somewhere, you don't have to ask your boss if you can go or take one day free or whatever, and you don't have to plan in advance if you don't want. It's really, I think it's really hard for people that are not nomadic to understand what it actually really deeply means. It's really so different.
Yeah,
and also what we prioritize and what we enjoy in life and what we actually need is super different.
It sounds very cool.
It is if you like it. A lot of people tell me, I couldn't live like you. I need my home, and that's fine.
I think once you
a lot of people.
Yeah, you started young. So you really never got attachments to creature comforts like cars and houses and beds and living rooms and TVs. You started young traveling, so that's what you know, and that is so traveling is your home. That traveling is your
Exactly.
your
That's a
your
nice one.
couch is an airplane seat, and your
Yes.
recliner is a motorcycle seat. So that's what you know, and you're
But I think
comfortable
it's
with
not
it.
that much you get used to. Is kind of you're born like that, It's not like it can happen that you're like 30 and you're like, okay, now I've become nomadic because yes. But I think it's really a type of just personality. People that enjoy this type of life, they just are like that since very young. They just never feel happy having an apartment and a car. Of course, you can do a life change if you want, but I think most of the people that are like that since very young. It doesn't mean you cannot live a year somewhere if you like it, but
Yeah.
you always have this wanting movement and changing.
So in Europe, I do notice that it's customary for people when they graduate from, I guess you call it right before they go to college, to
Yes.
travel for a year. So is that how you got into it, or did you just say, "Yep, I'm leaving home. I'm done with this"?
No, yeah, I was more like the second one because I actually never studied anything. So
You need school.
I mean, every option I had were boring, so I had to figure out what I want to do because the best I had was to go to a photography school, and that was kind of my plan. But just because I didn't had all the picture of what I could do with my life, so it was like the best I could do was this photography school. And when I started traveling in South America after like a month, I was like, I really don't want to go back and be in between four walls and stuck in the same place for the next 3 years, waking up every day, going to the same four walls for the next 3 years. I just can't. And I just didn't.
Right on.
And that's where I'm saying it's kind of a type of personality or type of soul because you just can't force it. It's just like
And
something you don't want. And it just, yeah, you can't force yourself to go back to a traditional type of life.
here we are 17 years later, and it's worked out for you. I mean, you've made it
Yeah,
happen.
kind of.
Yeah, kind
it,
of. Yeah.
it was harder than expected, mostly economically, but I don't regret anything. Because at the end of the day, when I see people earning money, they just spend it on weekends, going to party or paying bills. So at the
Bills.
end of the day, it's kind of the same. People that have a normal job, they also complain they don't have enough money. So I'm just doing the same. I
Yeah.
travel and complain I don't have money.
It all works out in the end. So if you could go out and buy any bike right now, but you had to own it for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I would buy a bike I'm in love with just because of how it looks, because I never even tried it. I just love it. The Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled.
Yes. Oh, beautiful bike.
I love that bike. But I think I've rarely seen it for real, only on pictures, and I've never tried it. So I don't even know if it's nice to ride it or if it has a good engine. It's purely visual.
I bet you if you came to America, we could find somebody that has one. Oh, by the way, if you come to one of our campouts, you can ride any bike there. We talked about the Forgotten Angels, the one down in Florida. When you're there, I would say probably the guys in the audience here can back me up. Probably 350 bikes there, and anybody will let you ride their bike, no matter how expensive the bike is, no matter how cheap it is, no matter
Oh,
how
wow.
crusty it is. Anybody will let you ride their bike. So there are a few desert sleds there. There's a lot of Triumphs. There's a lots of there was even some Royal
If
Enfields.
someone has a desert sled, they better hide it because maybe I don't give it back.
As long as they can ride with you, I don't see a problem, right? So, flip side of that, so what bike would you want to ride just once, knowing you could never afford it or ride it again?
So I had to think about that question a lot. And I think maybe I went a bit out of traditional answers. I don't know. I think one of the things I would love to try is a quad, like in Namibian desert.
Mhm.
So it's not really a bike, but it's kind of the typical thing you want to try once, but actually you really don't want to buy that. Another one would be a jet ski. I never tried a jet ski.
Come to Florida. We'll get you on a jet ski.
So I would really love that, and definitely I would never buy a jet ski. The last one would be an electrical bike. That's kind of a new thing. I'm really not really interested in it. I don't really like them, but I would be really curious to ride one to see how the feeling is of riding a bike without noise. It's strange.
There were a few down at the camp out this year. So one of them was it was like a motorized bicycle almost, but it was fast. It was faster than the motorcycle that I was riding with.
That's crazy.
So they're very cool bikes.
So when is that event?
We have it every October and every March. It's usually the St. Patrick's Day weekend of March, and it's the Halloween weekend in October.
Okay.
And if you follow my channel, you can see it. We talk about it a lot. Literally, we talk about it every week almost, because it's such a big thing for us. It's a huge charity that we do. So it's to help kids that come out of foster care. So they come out of orphanages. So it's a cool thing. We love doing it. We live it. It's our passion. You know, it's what makes us get up every day and ride.
That's nice. March is my birthday, so maybe I make it.
Yeah, come on down.
For next year to US.
We would love to have
Spring
you.
is probably also very nice in Montana.
Probably it's still snowy in Montana.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I wait just a little bit more.
Well, depending on how long you're going to be here, I mean, you could ride through the rest of the South, you know, curve up, head toward Montana, and then get there by the time it warms up.
I usually try to take advantage of the visa. If it's like a 3 months visa, I try to stay the 3 months. If it's a 6 months visa, that's maybe a bit long, but yeah, definitely. I wouldn't come like for 2 weeks or something. That's not my type of travel.
No, come experience it. It'll be fun.
I forgot again if there are questions or not. I'm gonna watch.
We have another question. Oh, well, I've been watching. These basically people are asking. Now they're trying to convince you to come to America, and they're trying to convince you to that Nothing in Random is a good-looking guy.
You have a lot of very nice comments here. I'm
do.
gonna screenshot them all. They're really nice.
Okay.
I'm gonna read all the comments again when the live ends.
Okay. What is your toxic trait?
I have so many.
Just give us a couple.
I can't live without coffee. That's a very important one for me.
Fair.
I mean, if there's no coffee, it's okay, but still. That's maybe the only routine I have in my entire life. Another one would be, I have this mixed character of I'm super organized and I kind of over prepare and over organize everything with Excel and maps and everything, and then at the same time I'm so messy. I can't deal with deadlines. I'm always late.
That's the life of a nomad.
Yep.
I mean,
so I have those both extremes, which doesn't make much sense. And I also think one of the things that is really annoying for people around me is that I cannot stop. I'm always doing something, and when people call it a day, I'm like, oh no, there's still sunlight, let's do something more, and then more, and then more, and I never stop. From the second I wake up, I do something. I never sit down and enjoy life. This is just, I can't do that. So yeah, I'm super hyperactive.
okay, that's not very many. That's
yeah, there are many more.
Okay, we can stop.
But just that one is already enough.
So my last question for you, if you guys got any more questions, throw them down in the comments. My last question for you is, what is the one thing that you will never take a road trip without? It could be more than
That's
one thing.
it's very easy. I think they could be just one. My camera. Never ever any, not just road trip, but any moment without my camera.
That's your lifeblood. I mean, that's how you keep this nomadic life alive.
Also, but there's so many pictures I just take for myself. I don't even share. Many pictures of things that are not really like matching with what I'm sharing. For example, I take a lot of food picture, but I never share a food picture. It doesn't have much to do with anything. I take a lot of wildlife pictures. I must have at least, I don't know, maybe 30, 40,000 pictures of safari,
Jeez.
but I don't share them that much on social media or something. So,
You should. I mean, that's
but people are less interested. People kind of like you for one thing. It's like friends. You have that friend you go ride with, but he wouldn't come home to cook with you. So it's kind of the same on social media. You have people following you for something they like about you, but not everything. You cannot just share all random things about you because people are just less interested.
I find that if you people are like cakes. There's a lot of ingredients that make them up, and if you share something that's passionate to you, you'll attract people that are like you. And I figure there's at least 100,000 people like me in the world. So if I just share things about me that I like, I will find those people and they will gravitate to me. So I don't really worry about. I think a lot of time on social media, people will share what they think other people like. This is the only thing people like about me. That's what I'm going to share. So you start
But
collecting that one type of person. But if you share more things, I think you'll attract more people.
yeah, there are two things. One is what you think they want to see and all that stuff, but there is also a lot of analytics behind it when this becomes your profession. And you can clearly see that from the datas where people actually interact and where not. And as you know, probably better than me, the biker community is amazing. And they're all super eager to know each other, to share, to follow, way more than other niches or other type of person. So it's really a nice community to be around. And definitely they interact way more when you put things about bikes than when you suddenly post picture about a safari. But I do it sometimes. But yeah,
Fair.
it's still my job, and as a business, you kind of build your image about something. It's like if, I don't know, tomorrow BMW would start selling, I don't know, cooking things. That would be strange.
Harley does it. Harley sells everything.
Really?
Harley Davidson salt shakers, cooking ware, sleeping bags, you name it. So if you think of like BMW, you think of BMW and you think about BMW tents, you're actually thinking about Lone Rider, or you're thinking about these other gears that are geared towards riding.
Yeah.
Harley, everything is Harley's. Harley Davidson socks, Harley Davidson jackets, Harley Davidson boots, Harley Davidson sheets, Harley Davidson lawn ornaments, everything. And if you've never been into a Harley Davidson dealer, everything is in there, and it's almost kind of ridiculous. But yeah, they'll sell you anything.
It's like a Walmart.
Yeah, almost. Billy is asking, what has been your favorite road? Was it a section of highway or a section of road where you've traveled? What place spoke most to your soul?
So many. Definitely not a highway. I think maybe the small Swiss roads leading to the mountain pass here in the Alps. Not one specifically. There's more than one that I really loved. Just the general feeling of being so high in altitude and the view to the mountains. Maybe the Nüfenen Pass is one of the highest. And there is also a very old road that you can still take, but they created a new one. I just forgot the name right now, but it's in another pass there. What's the name of this road? I have a reel about it. That was also very nice. But yeah, maybe just the Niffinan Pass would be like one of those that impressed me the most because of the landscape.
Okay. So, and you said you have already been. You're going to Iceland. Have you been there before?
I haven't been. It's one of my dream to go there, and I think I'm gonna go more than once.
Okay. Excellent. So.
We have other questions.
Okay, what do we got?
Oh no, I thought it was, but no.
Yeah, RE650 says Harley Davidson also has toilet wipes. Good to go.
I thought I've seen another question, but maybe not.
Do you have any questions for me?
I think I asked you already many, just like during the conversation and also when we called previously. Like all those things like, so where are you from? When is the meeting? Where are you riding to? Because I start planning for next year. I could come visit them.
It'd be very cool.
Definitely send me over the links to see your meetings and everything.
I will send you, so right after this, I'll send you the link to our Discord where we get in and we talk every night. We get in and talk about what's going on, what we're planning. I'll send you that link. You can get in and say hi to all of us and find out where we all live and make plans as we go. I think it'd be great. I was trying to get someone to bring me something. I don't know if she's out there or not listening to her phone.
What do you need?
Hang on. I'll be right back. Hold it.
Oh, I'm seeing myself on the YouTube screen. I'm really dark. I hope you can see me, guys. Any famous person I would love to meet?
You wanted me to look at this.
I'm not sure. I'm not much into famous people kind of thing. And I don't know. Maybe I would love to meet Itchy Boots. Is she famous enough to answer the question with her?
Yes, we would all love to see Itchy Boots.
What's that?
This is a Harley Davidson gnome. This is a yard gnome. It's a garage gnome, not a yard gnome. But yeah, like I said, Harley has everything. My sister bought me that for Christmas.
I'm gonna sell one of those with Nata on the road.
I'm for it.
Or maybe just the toilet brush.
Do a gnome. I'll buy a gnome. Not a toilet brush. I don't know. We have had a very good turnout. So is anything else? Any other questions out there? Throw them up quick. We got a little bit of time. Have you enjoyed yourself, Nata?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad. It's like I said, it's taken almost, I think it's like 5 months I've been trying to get you in. And I caught you.
I was in Africa.
You know,
very hard to get good Wi-Fi there. Impossible.
Yep. I caught you right before you left for Tanzania. And you were going to try to get me somewhere on one of your stopovers where you were in a hotel. But you just stayed busy. You stayed busy. So.
And the hotels had no Wi-Fi. It's just impossible.
Yep. This time I hit you up again and you're like, I'm on the way home. I'm in, I think you were in Spain or Germany, and you're like, I'll be home. Yeah, I'll be home tomorrow. And I'm like, excellent. I can do this. We're going to do this. It's great.
It's now or never, because in 5 days, I'm taking the bike again and I'm leaving again. So
timing was perfect.
Next time, maybe we can do an interview face to face.
Yeah, that would be good.
Instead of yeah, that would be really nice.
I would love it. I'll have to have a better studio. I'll have to make an actual studio.
That would be nice.
It would be cool. All right, we are going to go ahead and close it out. So I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I'll send you those links as soon as we're done. So anybody out there, if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video. Go over to Nata's video or her channel and go to her Instagram also. So your Instagram and your YouTube is, what are the titles? One's Nata on the road, and the other one is.
They're both the same. Nata _ on the road all together.
Okay. All right, then we're going to close this.
Thanks everyone for joining and asking so many questions and commenting.
So
I didn't see all your faces, but I'm going to go through all your names and find you on YouTube or Instagram.
So have you thought about getting a shop of your own where you can sell T-shirts? And because I'd buy a T-shirt, I'd buy not a T-shirt.
I was actually looking into it 2 days ago for the first time because I started designing a logo and I was like, it could be cool to have a hat or a T-shirt or something. So that's actually something I literally just opened the page 2 days ago and started looking into it.
I think your logo should be you with the scooter helmet on. I think it would be awesome.
That would be a fun one. I like that.
Have we decided? So we said you had a vote on what the thumbnail was going to be, and I put up the thumbnail that's up now is a temporary one. So from that, I think we've gone with sitting down with yellow letters. Is that the one you want to be the permanent logo?
That's not me. That's them.
That's the audience. The audience has decided.
53%, I think, if I'm not wrong, voted for the sitting yellow one.
Okay, then I will change it as soon as we're done. And I'll also send you the link where you can get into our Discord and say hello.
Nice.
All right, everybody, thanks for coming. And we're going to close this out. If you want to sit for a little second, I'll talk to you when we're done. So, Nata, stay online with me.
Bye.